Okay, so let's journey back to the 18th century, to the buzzing world of British art. One name you absolutely have to know is Thomas Gainsborough. This guy was a total master, capturing both the fancy, glittering world of high society and the quiet, peaceful soul of the English countryside. But here's the thing. His whole career was this constant push and pull, a battle between the portraits that made him a superstar and the landscapes that he was truly, deeply in love with. And that tension really brings up a fascinating question, one that pretty much haunted Gainsborough his whole life. What actually makes a masterpiece? Is it the person in the painting, all elegant and poised? Or is it the world around them, the place they're in? For him, well, the answer was anything but simple. So, to really get this conflict, we've got to go back to the beginning. Thomas Gainsborough was born in 1727, and from the get-go, his first love wasn't painting people. Well, it was drawing and painting the world outside his door. The fields, the trees, all those beautiful rolling hills of the English countryside. But let's be real. Back in 18th century England, painting landscapes wasn't exactly going to make you rich. Painting portraits, now that paid the bills. And Gainsborough, he wasn't just good at it, he was brilliant. He quickly became the go-to guy for all the aristocrats, which set up the big conflict of his life, making a living versus doing what he loved. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Gainsborough himself was pretty blunt about how he felt. He wrote a letter to a friend and just laid it all out there, saying he was sick of portraits and just wanted to grab his instrument, a viol da gamba, and escape to some sweet village where he could paint landscapes. Yep, that's how he spelled it. You can just feel the exhaustion in his words, can't you? So you end up with these two completely different worlds he was living in. On one side, you've got the portraits. That was his job, right? It brought him celebrity status, it brought him wealth. But on the other side, you have the landscapes. That was his passion. That was all about nature and freedom. And he spent his entire life trying to find a way to balance the two. To really understand why he was so famous, we have to look at the work that made him a household name. And there is no better example than his most famous painting of all, The Blue Boy. What's so cool about this painting is the outfit. I mean, that blue is just electric, right? But what's really wild is that this costume was already super old-fashioned when he painted it. It's actually 17th century style. So he was deliberately making a throwback, a nod to the old masters. And that shimmering blue satin, it just makes the whole thing pop. But now I want you to look past the boy for a second. Look at what's behind him. That's not some boring studio backdrop. It's a moody, stormy-looking landscape. So even here, in his most famous portrait, Gainsborough couldn't help but sneak in his true passion. He just had to add that little piece of the natural world. A huge part of his genius was just the way he painted. His brushwork is so light and energetic, almost feathery. And that's what makes that blue fabric look like it's actually shimmering. It gives the whole figure this incredible sense of movement. It doesn't feel stiff or posed. It feels like we just caught a glimpse of this kid in a real moment. Okay, now let's check out another one of his masterpieces. And this one really broke all the rules. This is Mr. and Mrs. Andrews, and it's a revolutionary mashup of art styles. With this painting, Gainsborough basically invented a whole new category, the portrait-landscape hybrid. It's a style where the setting isn't just in the background, it's a main character. The people and the place are total co-stars that share the spotlight. And this was a huge deal, because the painting isn't just a picture of Mr. and Mrs. Andrews, it's a picture about their land. You see all that sprawling countryside behind them? That was the whole point. It was a visual statement of their wealth, their social status. The landscape here isn't just pretty scenery, it's a declaration. So this really gets us to the heart of what made him so special. Gainsborough might have felt a little trapped by painting portraits, but his deep love for landscapes wasn't just some side hobby. It actively seeped into and shaped everything he did. So how did he pull it off? Well, he was always bringing the outside in. He'd place his subjects against these soft, beautiful, natural backdrops. And, this is the crucial part, he used the exact same light-flowing brushstrokes on a silk dress that he used for the clouds in the sky. It unified the whole painting and basically gave his formal portraits the very soul of a landscape. And whenever he got the chance, he let nature take center stage. In paintings like the market cart, the people are almost an afterthought. The real subject, the star of the show, is the lush, green, living English countryside. This is where you see his true passion on full display. This is pure Gainsborough. When you step back and look at all of his work together, what really shines through is this incredible feeling of grace and harmony. He somehow found a way to take his two different artistic worlds and blend them together into one beautiful, elegant vision. So, in the end, both sides of his art were absolutely essential. His portraits, they capture the style and elegance of an entire era and made him famous. But his landscapes, they reveal his heart, his artistic soul, that deep, undeniable love for the natural world. It's the combination of the two that makes him a genius. Ultimately, Gainsborough managed to pour a kind of magic into all of his work, a sense of light and life that just feels timeless. And it kind of leaves us with one final thought, right? How is it possible that paintings created over 200 years ago can still feel so immediate, so fresh, and so completely alive?